"You cook," the man said simply, as if nothing was strange. "I can't. I won't do this," she cried. "Do go." She turned to run, but guards were already closing the gates behind them. "You accepted the contract," the man said without emotion. "If you leave, you die. If you cook, you live." One of the women beside her whispered, "Don't cry, just finish and leave. That's how it works." Madam Jubilee stood there, trembling, her apron in one hand, her knife bag in the other. Around her, the other women were already chopping, quiet, focused, as if they'd done this before. Madam Jubilee stood over the pot, her hands trembling as the oil sizzled. The firewood crackled beneath it, the smoke curling into the darkening sky. Around her, the other women cooked in silence. No laughter, no idle chatter, just the sound of knives against chopping boards and wooden spoons, stirring thick, blood-colored stew. She tried not to look at the meat again. She tried not to think about what she was doing, but her hands moved on their own, the instinct of years in the kitchen taking over. She seasoned like she always did. Garlic, ginger, salt, her signature blend of herbs. She stirred carefully, precisely, as though she were preparing jollof rice for a wedding reception. But this wasn't rice for celebration. It was an offering. The white-clad man walked between the stations, nodding approvingly. No one spoke to him. He didn't smile, but every so often, he whispered something in a language she didn't understand, and the women nodded mechanically. The smell rose into the night air, rich, spicy, and disturbing. Madam Jubilee felt her stomach churn, but she knew if she stopped, she wouldn't make it out. When she finished, she covered her pots. A bell rang. The women stepped back. From the darkness, masked men came forward, lifting the pots and trays and carrying them into the main hall. That was it. No applause. No thank you. Then, the man returned. "Come," he said. They were led into another room. On the floor were 10 large Ghana must-go bags, filled to the brim with crisp naira notes. Madam Jubilee stared in disbelief. It was more money than she had ever seen in one place. "This is your payment," the man said. Some women fell to their knees, sobbing. Others simply picked their bags and walked away without a word. But Madam Jubilee couldn't move. She stared at the money like it was soaked in blood. "Take it," the man insisted. She took it. But as they dropped her off in the city at dawn, she didn't go home. She went straight to a church, a small one she had seen before, but never entered. The doors were open. She walked to the altar, dropped the bag of money at the foot of the cross, and collapsed to her knees, tears flowing freely. "God, what did I do?" she whispered. "What did I cook?" She wept as the early morning sun began to filter through the windows, her sobs echoing in the empty sanctuary. The church remained silent around Madam Jubilee as she knelt before the altar, her tears drying slowly on her cheeks. The weight of the money beside her felt like it could crack the marble floor. She stayed there for hours, praying, questioning, trying to silence the memory of what she had seen and what she had done. Eventually, a soft voice broke the stillness. "My daughter, are you all right?" It was the pastor, a gentle-faced man in his late 50s. He had arrived early for morning prayers and found her there. Madam Jubilee couldn't speak at first, but eventually everything came pouring out, not all the details, but enough. The pastor listened quietly. When she was done, he said nothing at first. Then he looked at the bag of money. "There are many things done in darkness," he said slowly, "but nothing stays hidden forever." She left the church that day with an uneasy peace, but the story was far from over. 3 days later, she was washing vegetables outside her shop when she saw a familiar face on the news. Believed to be missing for over a week, Police say she was last seen attending a private cultural retreat in a remote part of Ogun State. Madam Jubilee dropped the knife. So it was true, but it didn't end there. That evening, she received a call from an unknown number. The voice on the other end was calm, smooth, familiar. "I hope you enjoyed your payment, Madam Jubilee," the woman said. "I warned you not to ask questions." Click. The line went dead. Now she knew. She had catered for a ritual. The missing girl was likely one of the victims. The event had been a cover for something far more sinister, a gathering of the wealthy and wicked, who hid their evil behind tradition. And she, Madame Jubilee, had helped them. Even if she hadn't known at first, she hadn't stopped when she found out. Her hands were stained. But what could she do now? Turn them in? Who would believe her? Would they come for her? Or was this just the beginning? If you'd liked this video and you want to see more contents like this, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.